Title: Sami always said yes, until one day he couldn't. Sami was the guy you could count on. Everyone knew his boss, his friends, his neighbors, even the woman at the corner shop who once asked him to carry a heavy water bottle to her car. He always said yes. Yes, I can cover your shift. Yes, I'll help you move. Yes, I'll finish that report tonight. Yes, I'll take care of it. Sami worked full-time at a logistics firm in Nairobi. He handled inventory, deliveries, paperwork, and about 100 messages a day. He was efficient, polite, and always reachable. At home, it was the same. He helped his younger brother with school applications. He picked up medicine for his mother. He showed up at every family gathering, even when he was tired. People praised him. Sami is so reliable. You can always count on him. He never complains. And that made Sami proud. He liked being dependable. He liked being needed. He thought it meant he was doing life right. But slowly, without him noticing, something was changing. He started forgetting small things at first. A bill left unpaid. A friend's birthday. He skipped lunch more often, telling himself, "I'll eat later." He stayed late at work, then brought work home anyway. His phone buzzed constantly. Messages, reminders, requests. Even when he turned it off, he could hear it in his mind. He laughed less. He slept less. But still, he said yes. He didn't feel exhausted. He felt numb. One Sunday evening, his niece asked him to help with her art project. He smiled, said yes, and pulled out glue and paper. But inside, he felt nothing, just blank. He was proud of being dependable, but he didn't realize he was also disappearing. He had forgotten the last time he did something for himself, not for work, not for family, just for Sami. And the scariest part? No one noticed. Because from the outside, he still looked helpful, but on the inside, he was slowly fading. Monday morning started like all the others before the alarm even rang. Sami's phone buzzed on the nightstand. First, a message from his team lead. "Morning, can you prep those shipment files for the 10 a.m. check-in?" Then one from his friend. "Don't forget the business networking mixer is tonight. You're coming, right?" Sami sighed and rubbed his eyes. He had barely slept. He'd been up late reviewing delivery routes and chasing down a supplier invoice. But instead of saying no, he replied, "Yes, I'll handle it." At the office, he went straight to his desk, coffee in hand. Emails poured in. Someone needed help with a customs form. Someone else couldn't find the storage key. Sami stepped in. "I've got it." He was halfway through a shipment checklist when his boss walked over. "Hey, Sami, I know it's short notice, but could you update the client database tonight? We need it clean before the audit." Sami hesitated for a second. His mind whispered, "You're already tired. Say no." But his mouth said, "Sure thing." That night, after the mixer which he attended out of guilt more than interest, Sami sat at his laptop and began editing spreadsheets. His eyes ached, his head throbbed, but he powered through. By midnight, he was done. He dropped onto his bed, not even bothering to turn off the light. The week rolled on like a heavy cart. Every day was filled with checklists, voice notes, and small favors. "Can you help me with this form? Can you sit in on this call? Can you send the updated sheet?" The answer was always yes. Sami told himself he was being helpful, responsible, a team player. But under the surface, a quiet frustration was building. He wanted space. He wanted time to think. But every moment was claimed by someone else's need. One evening, while eating standing up in the kitchen, his sister called. "Hey Sami, can you come early to the wedding meeting on Saturday? We need someone to help organize the chairs." He paused. Just say no, he thought. You haven't had a single day off this month. But he heard himself reply, "Yeah, sure, I'll be there." After the call, he leaned against the fridge. He looked at the half-eaten plate in his hand, the stack of reports in his bag, the unopened sketchbook on the shelf, his hobby, long forgotten. He wasn't living, he was just responding. Still, he didn't complain. He didn't cancel, he didn't say no, until one moment coming soon would finally crack his yes habit wide open. It was Friday evening, and Sami was rushing. Again, he had promised to help his cousin move, review a client file before midnight, and still somehow show up for family dinner. He arrived late, holding a cake from the corner bakery. He smiled at the table. Sorry, traffic was crazy. Everyone was already seated. Laughter echoed through the dining room, plates half full, glasses clinking. But something was off. His sister Noura wasn't smiling. His niece avoided his eyes. Their mother raised a glass. To Noura, happy birthday. Sami froze, still standing. Birthday? His heart dropped. He had forgotten his sister's birthday. He looked at the cake he brought plain. No name, no candles. Noura forced a smile. It's okay, Sami. You've been busy. But her voice had a crack in it. Sami sat down slowly, his stomach heavy with guilt. He mumbled an apology, but inside, something broke. The next day, his niece had a school play. She had invited him weeks ago. He missed it. He was stuck in a Zoom call with a demanding client who just needed a few things clarified. When the play ended, he got a photo of her on stage smiling in her princess costume, surrounded by family. Except for him. That night, his inbox buzzed again. A client email minor feedback, just 2 lines. Sami stared at the screen, his hands were shaking. He reread the email. Something inside snapped. He slammed his laptop shut. Then he yelled at no one in particular. I said yes to everything but myself. His voice echoed through the empty apartment. For a moment, he just stood there breathing hard, chest tight, head spinning. That was the moment. Not a crash, not a breakdown, just a sharp, burning truth. He had said yes so many times that there was nothing left for him. No time, no energy, no joy. He wasn't tired. He was gone. And finally, he knew. Something had to change. The next morning, Sami did something he hadn't done in over a year. He turned off his phone. No messages, no emails, no updates, just silence. He sat on his balcony with a cup of tea and let the sun warm his face. The world was still moving, but he wasn't rushing to catch up. He went for a walk with no destination. He watched birds hop across the sidewalk, saw kids playing soccer barefoot in a dusty lot, and breathed slowly for the first time in what felt like months. At home, he opened a notebook he'd once bought for goals and reminders but never used. This time, he wrote one simple question at the top of a clean page. What do I want to say yes to? He stared at the question for a long time. Then he began writing, yes to sleep, yes to slow mornings, yes to family, fully present, yes to sketching again, even if just for fun, yes to work that respects time, not steals it. He wrote without editing, pouring out thoughts, feelings, and quiet regrets. Not blaming anyone, just being honest with himself. On Sunday, he texted his sister and apologized again, this time from the heart. I forgot your birthday. Not because I don't care, but because I stopped caring for myself first. Noura replied, I know. I was just waiting for you to say it. They made plans for coffee. No errands, no favors, just siblings. Monday morning, Sami returned to work, but different. He answered messages slower. He paused before accepting extra tasks. When someone asked, can you stay late today? He smiled and said, not today, sorry. People were surprised, but no one was angry. They understood. Some even said, good for you. I wish I could do that. He began to protect his time like it mattered, because it did. He wasn't perfect. Sometimes he still said yes out of habit, but now he caught himself. He asked, is this a yes for them or for me too? Sami wasn't disappearing anymore. He was returning. To himself. On Tuesday morning, Sami sat in the office kitchen, sipping tea. His notebook lay open beside him, this time not filled with tasks, but with a short list titled, What Only I Must Do. Everything else, he would start letting go. That day, for the first time in years, he delegated a task. Joseph, he said to the junior analyst, can you take the lead on the inventory review this week? I'll be here if you get stuck. Joseph blinked, surprised. Me? You're ready, Sami said. Sami watched as Joseph sat up straighter, his nervous hands calming. Delegating didn't feel like giving up control, felt like building trust. Later that week, Sami stopped by a quiet repair shop near his home. It had been years since he touched a bike, but the owner still remembered him. You used to fix chains faster than I could take payments, the old man chuckled. Sami smiled and rolled up his sleeves. He spent Saturday afternoon restoring a rusty blue bike. The smell of oil, the click of gears, the feel of working handset all returned like muscle memory. No deadlines, no devices, just tools and time. He laughed to himself. I miss this. At work, a wellness program launched, and the manager asked Sami to speak at the staff session. I'm not a wellness expert, he said. No, she said. You're better. You've lived it. At the meeting, Sami stood at the front of the room. He looked at the faces tired, focused, some curious. He told them the truth. Not about burnout as a buzzword, but as a quiet thief. I said yes to everything, he said, until I forgot what I truly wanted. People nodded. Some smiled. One person took notes. Another just sat very still. After the session, as people filtered out, a junior employee tapped him on the shoulder. "Thanks," she said softly. "I needed to hear that." Sami nodded. One story, one truth, shared out loud. The turnaround wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, grounded, real. He wasn't just functioning anymore, he was feeling again. And for the first time in a long time, he said, "Yes, and it meant something." Sami walked home slowly that evening, his steps lighter than they had been in months. The sky above was quiet, soft with stars. And for once, so was his mind. He thought about all the times he had said yes not because he wanted to, but because he thought he had to. He thought about the time he missed with family, the work he did while forgetting himself, the simple joy of fixing a bike, of drinking tea without multitasking, of helping someone without feeling empty. And he knew now, every yes is a promise. Choose your promises wisely. When you say yes to everything, you forget what really matters. Sami didn't need to do less. He just needed to do the right things for the right reasons. He smiled as he reached his door, not because everything was perfect, but because now he was present. Enjoyed this story? Follow for more real-life reflections that help you slow down, reset, and reconnect. Subscribe for weekly stories that protect your time, energy, and peace.